So Apex are really slowing down the release of new legends in the game, and over the last year we've really seen that, because we used to get a new legend every single new season in Apex, but then we started getting a new legend every other season, and now the last legend released in the game was Alter in Season 21, and in Season 22 or 23 there's going to be no new legend. Instead, of course, we're getting the Lifeline rework in Season 23, but no new legend to join the roster. And that does make me think, what do Apex have planned for the next legends in Apex, and do we have any clues as to future legends that might be coming to the game? Whether it's every season, every other season, or one legend a year, I don't know, but I wanted to take a look at all of the legends that we've seen being worked on in Apex and how likely they are to come in the future. And what really made me think about some of the old leaked legends in Apex that still haven't come to the game was because the new Lifeline rework in Season 23 has some abilities shared with old leaked legends. In fact, Lifeline's new tactical ability will be an improved dock drone that can be assigned to teammates to follow them while healing. And this sounds like a really good support ability, but it's been right under our nose for a very long time. In the giant legend leak of Season 12, one of the legends was called Uplink, who was supposedly a future support legend that had some very interesting abilities, but his tactical ability was a mobile drone that would heal teammate shields on the go. That's right, it was literally a Lifeline drone, but for shields, but this one could be assigned to you or your teammates, and it would follow you around, and we could see that working in the development footage. A drone was attached to the legends and healing their shields while they moved. This footage was revealed over 2 years ago, and now we're getting Lifeline's rework, where she basically has this exact ability, but for healing health. So there's every chance that Uplink might never have been a new legend, but instead just testing ground for Lifeline Reborn. But what's more likely is that Uplink was going to be a new legend, and then when they started slowing down releasing legends, they decided to rework legends into these new legends that could have come to the game, but instead of clustering the legend pool, just reworking a legend to give us those abilities sounded more desirable. And I think we're going to see that quite a lot in the future. I think if you look at a lot of the leaked legend abilities that we had in the past, many of the future legend reworks will have some versions of those abilities. We also saw that with Phantom and the Revenant rework. So this is Phantom, a leaked legend from the Season 12 legend leak, and a lot of people believe that Phantom was just an early version of Revenant Reborn that eventually evolved into the Revenant abilities. I mean, Phantom's abilities aren't really similar to Revenant's at all, but based on a lot of leaks for Revenant Reborn we had at the time, it seems like Phantom was the early stages of this. But Phantom actually had an ability from an Apex Mobile exclusive legend, which we'll talk more about in just a moment. But Phantom had the double jump passive, which gives off Titanfall vibes. And that's funny because in Season 23 we are rumored to be getting a Titanfall mode that lets us wall run and double jump. And his tactical was a weird take on Pathfinder's grapple that would let you stick to walls and linger for a short time, but the ultimate that was being tested was the Void Grenade, a grenade that would explode and put anyone caught in its blast into the void, just like Wraith's tactical. And this is a 1-to-1 copy of Fade's ultimate ability from Apex Legends Mobile, and of course we know now that this ability never did come to Apex Legends, and as of Season 23, no ability like this has ever reached the game. But now that Season 23 is themed around the Apex multiverse and the giant Rift event, there's definitely options to explore the Apex mobile universe and maybe merge it with Apex in a connected experience. And that phrase might ring a bell because the CEO of EA, Andrew Wilson, actually said in a previous interview that they had plans to reimagine a connected Apex Mobile experience in the future, tying the Apex Mobile universe with the main Apex universe. And we have seen proof that the devs did test Fade's ultimate ability in the main game of Apex through this legend Phantom, and now it would make sense more than ever for Fade and Rhapsody, the Apex Mobile legends, to come to the main game, so only time will tell, but I would love for those legends to be added. And even if Phantom was an early version of Revenant Reborn, the fact they tested the Apex Mobile legends abilities means they definitely considered it, so one of the next legends could definitely be Fade. Or maybe they'll call him Phantom. Now it would be nice if they released a legend that had the ability to fix the unwanted lag while playing Apex. Well, you don't need that because you can try out GearUP Boosters version 2.0, which now lets me select a service region to stabilize my network even better. And there we go, it's that simple. It ensures I have the most stable connection possible to the right game server. So it does help getting rid of those unwanted peaks in high ping. So GearUP will help you in the new Apex season. Just simply download the app on PC or mobile. That's right. right, there's a mobile version. Use my link in the description to try out GearUP for free, and hopefully it improves your ping, and when it does, let me know how low you can get your ping in the comments. Let's see who gets the fastest connection. Now, on to some of the League Legends that we haven't seen any similarities of their abilities in the game whatsoever. Starting off with, I think, my favorite League Legend, Jester. Jester seemed like a really funky legend that would give off great vibes, and none of their abilities have made it to Apex. The passive ability would allow them to turn grenades into proximity mines that would stick to surfaces and blow up in proximity of the enemies. And this passive would let you toggle the mode of your grenades, so you could still use them as normal grenades or switch them into proximity mines. Sounds pretty cool, but we've never had an ability like that in Apex, so maybe it just wasn't the right fit. Or maybe it's planned for the future. His tactical was the Spectre drop, where he'd call in a pod of 3 Spectres to guard an area, which again sounds like a pretty cool tactical. I think the Titanfall links are pretty awesome, and some Titanfall fans might have liked that one. And then the ultimate would let you throw a short-lived cloaking device that would hide all players in a small area, and the cloak would last for 6 seconds after leaving the field. This sounds like a next-level Mirage ability, where instead of just cloaking yourself, you'd cloak everyone around you and just cause chaos. And Jester really did just seem like a disruptor, and I'd be all for Jester coming to the games in the future, but there were leaks and rumors spreading that the development of Jester had ceased and we're never going to see him in the games. But now that Apex is releasing OG modes in Season 23, bringing back old abilities and old weapons, and even Titanfall weapons, I think the dev team is definitely open to testing out previous ideas that they had, so that gives me a little bit of hope for Jester. And then there was a legend called Scryer who had the strangest abilities in the game, almost as if their abilities were just mimicking that of a cheater in Apex, because they had a passive ability that would let them spectate their killer when they die, which would just give you the ability to tell your teammates exactly where the enemy is. And the tactical was quite similar. You'd be able to place these parasite traps that if an enemy stepped near them, would reveal their vision. I don't really know what that means, whether it means you'd also be able to spectate your enemy while still being alive. And then the ultimate was the shadow wall that would block scans and vision, but that seems very similar to Catalyst's ultimate, so I can imagine they scrapped the idea of Scryer, gave Catalyst their ultimate, and got rid of those wacky passive and tactical abilities. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of the idea of Scryer, but there was also another legend that did come to the game, Ballistic, who had a codename Caliber, and his tactical ability was a turret. Ballistic was originally planned to be able to place a turret that was a copy of his current weapon that you could just place down and it would guard an area and would shoot automatically at enemies nearby. Now, I can imagine they removed that because it just sounds really annoying and people would probably get really mad at it, but since that ability never came to the game, there's always the option that a future legend has a turret, but personally I think it wouldn't be a good fit for Apex, but you never know. So there you go, those are some actual abilities that the dev team have already tested in Apex, and now that Apex is having a throwback in Season 23 with the OG Apex mode, I thought it would be fun to have a throwback to these League Legend abilities. Now that Legends don't get released so often, we can only imagine what the next Legends abilities will be, and we'll likely see even more versions of these League Legend abilities in future Legends, like we're seeing with Lifeline's rework and the Uplink tactical. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video, if you have any concepts or ideas of future Legends you'd like to see in the game, drop a comment down below of a legend that you've made up with a passive, tactical, and ultimate ability that they could have, and I'll rate them in the comments.